Hello Corkies, welcome back. We got an awesome coffee grinder review for you today. It is the Baratza Virtuoso. Is it worth the extra money to upgrade that from the very popular Encore? We're going to be telling you all about this and why you might want to pick one up. Stay tuned. Hello everybody, welcome back to corkandjava.com. I'm Billy, and we all know you're supposed to get joy and fascination from even the little things in life that most people take for granted. So here at Cork and Java, we're here to expand and enrich your experience with all of your favorite beverages through wine and coffee, reviews and how-tos. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that little bell so you're notified when all of our future videos come out. All right, so today we are doing a review of the Baratza Virtuoso, and I got my very good friend James here, who's owned this bad boy for about 2 years now, and he's very qualified in the coffee game to show you how awesome this grinder is, and he's gonna also do a demo showing you how it pulls a shot in a pressurized portafilter. And yeah, so stay tuned. I'll put a link down in the description if you're interested in picking this up. I'll leave a link below. So yeah, stay tuned and make sure you stay to the end so you learn all there is to know about this and if it's worth upgrading from the Encore if you're looking to buy one or the other. So without further ado, here's James.
Thanks again, Billy. Yeah, so we are going to be reviewing the Virtuoso, which is a Burr grinder. Now, for those who may not be familiar, there's various forms of grinders that you can get that will help grind up your beans. You have blade grinders, which will essentially chop your bean, and then you have conical Burr grinders. There's various other type of Burr grinders as well, but this one is specifically a conical, meaning it's cone-shaped. And what it'll do is it'll actually grind the bean. Now, that is one of the better ways that you can get freshness and taste out of your bean by grinding your coffees, as I'm sure Billy has shown you in the past. But if you're looking to step up your game, if you're looking to get into specialty coffee, the Virtuoso is actually a very good grinder that will last you for many years to come. I've owned this thing for about 2 years now, and this thing is still kicking. It hasn't let me down at all. Now, if you're wondering what is the difference between this and the Encore, well, the Encore is the lower tier version. It's a little bit lighter, made out of plastic. As you can see, this one has a nice stainless steel body, and it has some weight to it, so it's really not going to move while you're grinding. It stays in place, which is good because if you have those slick counters, some grinders can slide all over or make rattling noises, but this is relatively quiet. The Encore is actually pretty loud when you're grinding, and this one is actually pretty quiet. We'll do a demo in a little bit to show you that. So it's quieter. It also has a better burr inside than the Encore does. The Encore has just your standard steel burr. This one actually has a high carbon stainless steel, typically found in most high-end grinders. Now, for this grinder, that burr particularly allows for a greater range of grind. So for the Encore, you can grind fine for espresso, but you'll come to find out for the Encore, it doesn't really give you that good consistency, or it doesn't allow you to really dial in exactly what kind of fineness that you like. Now, the Virtuoso isn't quite at the level that you want to have for most espressos if you're an espresso aficionado. But if you're looking to dabble in the espresso but also have really great pour-overs as well, and you want just one machine to kind of do it all, the Virtuoso is really good because it has over 40 different steps in which you can range all the way from very fine espresso all the way up to coarse ground for French press, if not coarser. And so the Encore has 40 steps as well, but the Encore's steps are not as broad range as this. And what I mean by broad range is it doesn't, the Virtuoso gets a lot finer and it also gets a lot coarser. And because of its higher grade burr, it allows for a higher consistency with your fineness. Now, it also is DC powered, which also helps keep your beans cool while you're grinding. So some burr grinders, electric burr grinders, can actually introduce heat into your coffee grounds, and thus can vary your results while you're doing your pour overs. If you're a coffee nerd, you'll love that kind of thing, maintaining consistency for all your pour overs, but this will keep the temperature regular as it's grinding. Now, another thing you have to consider when looking at coffee grinders is how clean is it? Because some coffee grinders can spill grounds everywhere while you're grinding. It can retain it in the chambers, or it can spill out while you're drawing out your container. And this one actually holds it pretty well and doesn't make too much of a mess. There are some fines that come out while you're grinding, but overall it stays fairly clean in comparison to other burr grinders that I've had in the past. So I know one of the questions that people will say, well, I know it can get as low and grind as fine for espresso, but will it actually create a crema? And that's one of the things that is the mark of a good espresso, is having a good crema. And if the beans aren't ground correctly, then you're not going to get a good crema. And so that's why I'll be demonstrating pulling a shot to show you what kind of crema that you can get from the Virtuoso. So let's go ahead and grind some and take a look at the grinding process, and then we'll pull a shot. So I have an Ethiopian Yirgacheffe that I roasted about 3 days ago. I'm gonna do about 13 grams-ish. There we go. All right, and so if you get a close-up on here, you can see the dial all around. Usually it's recommended to put it on about 8, the 8 tick mark for espresso. You can go finer if you like, just depending on how you like your espresso. If you find out that the shot is pulling way too fast, you can adjust it accordingly. But 8 has been a pretty good standard for me. All right. The interesting thing about the Virtuoso, as opposed to the Encore, is this new feature of a timer. Now, the Encore just has an on and off switch, and it's a plastic little knob. But this is actually a steel knob, and so it's a little more durable. And I've heard reports of the Encore, the knob falling off because of vibration. But this, I've never had it fall off. It's actually pretty stable. And you can turn it all the way to grind for a full minute, or you have the instant button right here where you can just press and manually grind. You can either press, or I'm just gonna crank it all the time. All right. And so, as you can see, it's fairly consistent. And this is a nice little container. Some of the different containers are various shapes on different grinders. This one can be a little tough to manage and pour sometimes. Sometimes you'll have to knock it because the fines will collect in the corner. Some other ones have actual little spouts on the side to where you can pour it. The way this one is shaped, you can kind of see how it has a slant. So what I like to do is trying to collect it on that slant, and then I'll kind of just knock it around right into the portafilter. One of the downfalls about this, you're able to put the portafilter in there and manually grind into the portafilter, but it doesn't really manage that too well. I know some of the higher models will actually have a little arm prong that allows you to just set the portafilter in there and do it as such. And so as you can see on here, it's relatively clean. You can see from the inside, there's not many fines that you would find. So it stays relatively clean. So as you can see, very nice crema on top. So if you like to just dabble in espresso and you're just getting into it, or you are just a casual espresso drinker but also want one machine to kind of manage both your pour overs, your French press, and your espresso, the Virtuoso is the best bang for your buck. And the Virtuoso ranges about the $200 range, give or take some depending on where you find it. So it is a little bit pricier option in that sense, but if you look on the relative scale of grinders, some can go all the way up to a few $1,000s. Whereas this one will last you. It's a good investment. It's very versatile, and yeah, it gives you a good crema. Billy, would you like to try?
I would like to, yes, thank you. Wow, that's delicious.
Yeah. Another thing I like to say, it's really easy to clean as well. So if you do want to get in there and get into the guts of this, it's pretty easy to clean. So all you do is you can just keep twisting until you remove the entire hopper. And then you can see just simple as just pulling out all the inner works. And as you can see, this one's needs a little bit of cleaning. You can see that the burr just pulls right out, the little rubber seal. And so you can see what I was talking about with the cone-shaped burr, and this fits right over top of it. And so yeah, you can just wipe that out. Some people like to run rice through it to kind of collect a lot of those fines. But either which way, but as you can see, it's really easy to remove, and then you can just easily just pop it right back in. So fairly simple to put on and off. And that's all you have. That's the Virtuoso, and I'm very happy with it. It's one of the best rated of the Baratza line. It's even one of the best all around. I've seen various coffee shops using this one in particular, and you know, upgrading to an industrial size later, but I've seen a few coffee shops using this, so I give it 2 thumbs up.
All right, guys, leave a comment down below with what you thought of the Virtuoso. Do you think it's worth it to upgrade from the Encore? Personally, for me, the high carbon conical burr steel is worth the extra money. So this is where I put my bet over the Encore. That's where I put my money. And so yeah, leave us a comment down below which one do you think is the better bang for their buck. And also make sure you find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Looking forward to seeing you guys online. Until next time, bottoms up.